Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Berlin and today, we are going to watch Spider-Man movie. It is first movie of Tobey's trilogy. It is my personal favorite Spider-Man. It was released in 2002 and was directed by Sam Raimi. And this is first movie of my Spider-Man series. We will cover every movie Spider-Man till No Way Home. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe my channel for more videos like this. So without wasting any further time, let's start the movie. The story begins with the city of Brooklyn in America, where we are shown that some children leave for school by sitting in the school bus, and we are shown the main character of this story, that is, Peter Parker, who is late to go to school. He is running behind the bus. And then sitting inside, Mary Jane tells the driver that why are you not stopping the bus? He has to come in too. And then he finally stops the bus. But when Peter goes inside, all the children sitting there start bullying him, troubling him a lot. From this we come to know that there is no such thing as any self-confidence inside Peter Parker. He is just like a gullible child. And with this the bus reaches inside a laboratory in the city of Brooklyn, where all those children have been brought for tourism to that lab, and at the same time their teacher tells all those children that none of you will do evil. At the same time, Peter's friend Harry also reaches there from behind. Harry also introduces Peter to his father, Norman Osborn. Norman is overjoyed to find him there, and at the same time, Harry tells that Peter is very much ahead in science. His mind runs very fast, so there the Norman tells him that if seen in a way, I am a scientist myself, and after hearing this, now Peter and Harry reach inside that lab. Peter also has a camera near him, and then starts taking photos of the spiders present there. Then a professor comes over there and starts telling them all that we are inside a very wonderful laboratory, and inside it we use spiders. We worked on 3 species that had the ability to defend against danger, and also to make long jumps as well as hunting. With the help of all of them, we have created 15 such powerful species, which can change the attitude of which human race. Then there Mary Jane says that you said 15, but here it is only 14. So the professor is shocked to hear her talk, and she says that perhaps the experiment is still going on him. That 15th spider might not have been built yet. But don't you worry, we will see all this, and then there Peter starts clicking the pics of Mary Jane, and says I just want to click some pics of you for the school magazine, and when he was just clicking his pic, that's when that 15th spider ran away from that small box, and he came straight and bites on Peter's hand. It is basically a radioactive spider whose bite now brings its poison inside Peter's body. In the next scene, we are shown the Oscar Corporation, inside which an experiment is going on here. In this experiment, we are shown a glider as well as a man wearing a suit riding on it. A lot of army officers are also present there, and then the Norman also reaches there, then the army officers ask him that, till now you have invented only this. Norman tells him that we also have such a medicine which can increase the strength of a person 800 times. So his colleague present there tells him that work is still going on this medicine, it is not completed. So there the army officers ask him that Norman we need a clear answer from you, is that medicine ready or not because we need that medicine. We want to use that medicine with our soldiers, so there the colleague says that sir you cannot use this medicine now, because it is not fully made yet, and hearing this, the army officer he gets angry, and he leaves, threatening Norman that if you do not complete this experiment within 2 weeks, then your funds will be stopped. After hearing this, now the Norman becomes very worried. We are shown Peter's aunt and uncle, his name is Uncle Ben, and his aunt's name is Aunt Mary, who lives in Peter's house with him. When Peter reaches home he is very tired because he has been bitten by a radioactive spider, and he goes straight to his room without giving any answer to his aunt and uncle, and goes to sleep quietly. Wherein in the next scene we are shown the Norman along with his colleague. He is getting very angry at his colleague and asks him why did you tell the truth about this experiment to the army officer? If you had not told the truth, our job would not have been in danger today. So there he tells the scientist Norman that if we had done this, then we could have had a lot of problems. Because so far this drug has been tested only on rats. It has not been used on humans yet. And if we use it on human beings by chance, then we do not know how its results will come in front of us. But then the Norman says that I do not have time for this. I just have to test this whole experiment on myself. So his colleague refuses him, but after a lot of insistence, now finally both of them are ready to do this experiment on themselves. And then from there the Norman reaches the chamber from where that medicine is put into his body through gas. Now slowly Norman's body starts to swell, power starts going inside him, and a moment comes when he is unable to control his body. So his colleague starts running, "That Norman, are you okay? Are you right?" He has become a different person, a different personality, and he kills his colleague because it was the same person who did not allow his experiment to be completed. At the same time, Peter wakes up the next day, and when he puts on his glasses, he sees that he is seeing faintly. This meant that now he was able to see better without wearing glasses, and when he sees his body in the middle of the mirror, he is shocked to see. He wonders, what happened to me? So his aunt tells him that, "Peter, are you right? Are you feeling better now?" So Peter says that, "Yes, I think I am feeling too good," and from there he comes down getting ready. Then his uncle tells him that, "You didn't even have breakfast, and you are leaving from here. Are you in a hurry for something?" But then Peter does not answer any of his words and leaves straight for his school, but this time also Peter is late to catch his bus. He runs after his bus, but by then his bus leaves from there. Now he is having his lunch sitting in his break time, and then Mary Jane is coming out from there, but then his foot slips and all the food falls from his hand, but then Spider-Man takes him and his lunch with him, saves it and makes it stand in the right way. So Mary Jane says, "How did you do all this? I got to see your eyes for the first time, your eyes are blue. I didn't even notice about it," and she leaves after saying this. Only then Peter sees that his spoon is stuck on his hand, and when he starts to take the spoon out of his hand, by mistake a web comes out of his hand, due to which the food in front sticks to his hand, and when he tries to get rid of it, but the food goes straight and collides with an obstinate kid of this college named Flash. Now this Flash becomes very angry, and he runs after Peter to beat him, and just as he is about to punch him, but before now Peter gets to know about the danger. So he escapes from it, and then a fierce fight between Flash and Peter begins. Till this moment all the kids in the school were hooting for Flash to beat him, punch him, but then there Peter gets angry, and he gives a punch to Flash, and he goes straight and falls away. Everyone is quite surprised to see how Peter beat the Flash, and finally Peter runs away, and when he looks at his hands again, the real spider power of spider sense can be seen coming out of him. And then he tries to climb a wall in front of him, and slowly he climbs up to reach its top floor. Now standing on the roof, he tries to use his spider shooter, but he can't understand why his spider webs are not coming out, and finally after a lot of difficulties, one such bet comes out, because of which those spider web shooters are now out, and now Spider-Man is ready to make his first jump. But he is not that perfect yet, that's why he hits the wall. When Peter reaches his house at night, he sees Mary Jane in the front window because she is his neighbor. Mary Jane's family was transferred there when Peter was 6 years old, and he knew Mary Jane since then. When he looks at her house, there is a lot of quarrel going on in their family, but Peter does not pay attention to their words. He comes out to throw the garbage, and at the same time Mary Jane also comes out, and she would tell him, "Were you listening to us? We keep quarreling every day. There is never any anger in your family." So Peter says that sometimes there is a fight in our family too, but not that much. "What is your plan after I leave school from here?" So there Mary Jane says that after leaving school I want to become an actress, and then there comes the Flash car, and he says, "Mary, come sit with me, I have brought a new car, come let's go on the ride," and then Mary leaves from there. Peter thinks about this all night, and he also decides that he too will now buy a new car. And the next day he starts looking at the rates of all the vehicles in the paper, then he gets the cheapest car for $25,000. There is also another advertisement under it. It is written inside that there is going to be a fight inside this ring. And if you win that fight, you will get $30,000, and now Peter starts designing his suit. The next day when he is leaving his house towards the library, his uncle says that, "I will drop you." Then Uncle Ben and Peter goes straight to the library. When Peter is about to leave the car, Uncle Ben tells him that, "I think you are behaving very differently these days. I don't know what is the reason behind this, but now you have grown up, you have to understand your responsibilities." So Peter gets angry on hearing this. He says that, "You are not my father, you are my uncle, so it is better that you do not teach me about this." So Uncle tells him one thing, with great power comes great responsibility. Always remember this, and after hearing this, Peter leaves from there and reaches straight in the same ring where he was going to fight. There is a very strong competitor whose name is Bonesaw, and he is beating everyone, and the anchor tells everyone by shouting that whoever will fight with Bonesaw for 3 minutes inside this whole ring, he will get full $30,000. So he asks Peter, "What is your name?" So Peter says my name is the human spider. So he says what a useless name, and only then he announces that now Spiderman is coming in front of you to fight in the ring. And then begins a strong fight between Spider-Man and Bonesaw. At first Peter is avoiding him, hiding from him. But when he finally starts attacking him, now even Spider-Man gets very angry here, and he defeats him in one shot, and when he goes to the manager there to ask for his money. When he reaches near, he gives him only $100. So Peter gets very angry with this thing. He says that you had talked about $30,000 in the advertisement, why are you giving $100? So he tells Peter that there was talk of staying in the ring for 3 minutes, but you just finished the fight within 2 minutes. That's why I am giving you this $100, if you want to keep it, otherwise run away from here. Hearing this, Peter starts shouting at him, then the manager says that I do not care about your money, and now Peter leaves from there disappointed. But then the thief reaches there and he tells the manager to put all the money in this bag, otherwise I will kill you, and from there he is running away, and Peter's eyes fall on him. But he doesn't stop him, but lets him go. Then the manager comes and tells him that why didn't you catch him after all, if you wanted, you could have caught him easily, but you didn't. So Peter tells him, I don't care about your money, and walks away saying this. When he starts going on the road, he sees a crowd of some people, and then he comes to know that someone has an accident on the road, and when he sees there, he gets shocked because those who have an accident was none other than his Uncle Ben, so he asks people what happened after all. So the cops tell him that just now a thief shot him and took his car from here. Now here Peter starts crying too much, he is very sad, but by the time he talks to him, Uncle Ben was dead, and now he gets very angry about this, and now he runs after the thief to catch him. And finally he finds a truck, in which Carlsberg beer is written, and with the help of this, he now finally reaches the thief, and when he reaches him, he tells him why did you kill him, and when his face is visible in the light, he understands that it was my fault. I had let that thief go when he was running away with money. He is thinking about it, but accidentally the thief's leg hits a pipe and he dies after falling from the window. But then the policemen also see from that window that a person wearing a Spider-Man suit is standing there. And he has taken her life, but by then Peter is gone. In the next scene, we are shown that the army prepares a robotic suit to try its new experiment, and there are Air Force officers present who have removed Norman from this old project, and only then there reaches the Green Goblin and ends their invention there, and also kills those army officers. The next day we are shown that after some time now Peter as well as Harry are spending their last day of school, and then Norman also arrives there, and he is overjoyed to learn that his son Harry, who was totally useless in studies, he has also passed this year, and also he tells Peter that, if you ever need anything in future always remember me, I am with you all the time. Peter is very disappointed when he comes home, because his Uncle Ben was no longer with him. But then Aunt Mary comes, and supports him, and tells him that he always knew that you are a good person, you have the ability to have everything you want. Discover the person inside you and do what you want to do, and just now, Peter leaves Brooklyn and comes to New York and starts living with his friend Harry, and at the same time, by becoming a Spider-Man. All the robberies and thefts happening inside the city of New York are also handing them over to the police. Spider-Man's name is now printed on everyone's mouth. Everyone starts talking about him now that I saw him, he is very nice, he helps people. At the same time some people are also criticizing him. At the same time, in a newspaper office, it would also be going on now that by calling Spider-Man as a villain, now it should be brought in front of all the public. Mary Jane, who is also now living inside the city of New York herself. She wished that she would ever become an actress, and only then Peter meets from there. So Peter is very happy to see her. He is about to purpose her but stops, then he tells her here that, after all, you have become what you wanted to be. But then she tells him her reality and says that I definitely wanted to become an actress, but I did not get that job, I am working as a waiter here. My salary is also very less, so Peter says that at least you have a job, I don't have that either. But someday we will definitely sit and talk. Will you come to dinner with me? So Mary Jane says that, I will definitely tell you after thinking about this, and then from there Peter reaches his house, and he is still talking with Harry, and only then Norman reaches there. And he asks both the children that, how is your work going? Peter, did you get the job? And then Peter sees an advertisement inside the newspaper, inside which it is told that whoever brings pictures of Spiderman, we will give him a strong amount. Now Peter has got his job and he goes straight to that newspaper's office and goes there to meet Mr. Jameson and also gives him pictures of Spiderman there and says that I want a job instead. Can you give me? So Jameson says you just do small things. That is, you just bring photos and in return we will keep giving you salary. Do not expect a job here, now go away from here. That's where the scene shifts, and in the Oscar Corporation, where the CEO of the company, that is Mr. Norman Osborn, is sitting there, along with all his board members, and only then the board members tell him that you are fired from this company because we have tied up with West Technology Company and they don't want to keep you in this company. That's why they have given us 30 days notice that you should leave this company. So there the Norman gets very frustrated. He tells them that I have made this company. I have given my years too, after all, why are you all talking about removing me from here? But no one in the company was ready to listen to him anymore, and he is also told that next month is the anniversary of this company. And at the same time the Oscar Corporation will be transferred to West Technology. And then, slowly a month passes, and now the day comes which is the anniversary day of the Oscar Corporation. Everyone is very happy, there are many big balloons and a lot of decorations inside the whole New York City. But only then the Green Goblin reaches there, that is, Norman Osborn, and after reaching there the board members, those who have treated him badly, blows them up with a bomb. But inside the same blast, Mary Jane is also about to fall, and only then Peter crosses there and comes in his Spiderman form, saves him and leaves from there. So there Mary Jane asks him, who are you after all? And why did you help me? Spider-Man tells him that it was my duty, and saying this he leaves from there. After reaching home, now Norman starts tormenting his old memories. Basically now there are two personalities inside the Norman. One which is of Norman Osborn and the other which is of Green Goblin. Then the Green Goblin starts talking to him from inside and tells him that you are the most powerful person in the city. You can do what no one else can do. But there is a person inside this city who will not let your plan succeed. His name is Spiderman. If you want to keep everything in your hand then befriend him, and after hearing this and finally the Green Goblin now reaches inside that newspaper office, and going there catches Jameson and asks him, who is the person who clicks the pictures of Spiderman? Tell me about him, I want to meet him, and then Peter Parker comes over there as a Spider-Man, and says I'm in front of you. But then the Green Goblin deceives him and make him unconscious and takes him with him, and when Spider-Man regains consciousness after a while, the Green Goblin gives him a deal. Tells him that there is no powerful person like you and me in this whole city. If we both make a team, then what can't we do? I extend the hand of friendship towards you. If you will join with me then we can do many things. Remove all those people who are obstructing our work. So Spider-Man tells him that I am not a bad person like you. I believe more in helping people. So the Green Goblin tells him that if I want, I can crush you like a worm right now. But I want to give you a chance, take your time and think and then tell me what you thought. We will definitely talk about this Spiderman, and he leaves from there saying this. On the same night some thieves catch Mary Jane, and only then Spider-Man reaches there, and he teaches all of them a lesson and drives them away. So Mary Jane tells him that last time also you saved my life and this time also. I did not thank you, but this time I would definitely like to do it, and she takes off his mask and kisses him, and after that Spider-Man leaves from there. On the next day, it is shown that a building in the city has caught fire. The fire brigade reaches there and tries to save all the people, but the fire is also very much raging, and Spider-Man reaches there at the same moment. So the people down there tell the Spider-Man that I still have a child trapped inside it. So Spider-Man, without caring for his life, jumps into that building and saves that child, but the police present there tells him that we are going to catch you, because a warrant has been issued against you. Spider-Man says no officer, not today, and then there is the sound of shouting of another man from that building, and Spider-Man reaches that building to save him, but then we come to know that it is none other than but the Green Goblin, and he was the one who set this building on fire, and he tells Spider-Man that I knew you wanted to be a hero. Because you care about people's lives and now I feel like you have turned down my offer. Then Spider-Man tells him that, I am not going to accept any of your offers. Now a great fight starts between the two. There the Green Goblin uses his gadgets to defeat Spider-Man. But the Spider-Man was also very clever, and with his quickness, he escapes from those weapons, but then one of the weapons gets on his hand, due to which blood starts flowing from his hand. But still, somehow, he defeats the Green Goblin and drives him away. On the same day Harry would have called Mary Jane, as well as Peter Parker and Aunt to his house. At this time there is going to be a dinner party at his house, in which now Norman Osborn is also included. But by then Peter has not reached home. So Norman asks Aunt where is Peter after all. So Aunt Mary tells her that she is not at home yet, but is going to come soon, and then there they hear some sound from the upstairs room, and they all think that Peter must be up, and they all go upstairs and check, but Peter was not there, because he was stuck on his roof as a Spider-Man. But the cut on his hand still drips blood on the ground, and as it falls, the Norman feels that there must be something wrong here, and when he looks out of that window, but till then no one was there, that is, Spider-Man has run away. And after a while now Spider-Man comes to his house as Peter, and thanks all the people that you are present at this party. But just then Aunt Mary notices the injury on his hand, and she asks him how did he get hurt. So Peter says that I collided with a bike due to which I got a cut on my hand, and only then he sees that cut. Then Norman understands that Peter Parker is the real Spider-Man and Norman leaves from there. After coming home, Norman starts thinking that how will I be able to kill Peter because he is my son's best friend. Then there, the Green Goblin, that is, the second personality he has, tells him that he will not tolerate the traitor, you will have to kill him. So the Norman tells him that I can't kill him, then the Green Goblin says that if you can't kill him, then break the person inside him, break his heart, and that is, attack the people close to him, and then the Green Goblin arrives at Aunt Mary's house, and frightens her a lot. Due to which she has an attack, and is now admitted to the hospital. So Peter comes and asks them what happened to you after all. Why do you seem so upset? So she screams out of her fear that, yellow eyes, a terrible face, Peter understands that the Green Goblin must have come to know about my personality, that I am Spider-Man. Mary Jane is also present in the same hospital, and then Peter and Mary start talking to each other. But Harry sees them talking, and Harry understands that Mary Jane loves Peter, and he comes home and tells his father Norman that you were right, you told me that girls always run after money. Mary Jane loves Peter Parker, not me, and when Norman learns that Peter Parker's real weakness is none other than Mary Jane, he grabs her. At the same time, he also forces Spider-Man to choose, and says, now who will you choose? I have the lives of many innocent children in one hand, and on one side is your love, who will you choose, Spider-Man? Seeing this, the Spider-Man gets very scared, and then from there the Green Goblin leaves both of them. But with his cunning, Spider-Man finally saves the swing full of children as well as Mary Jane. But still the Green Goblin does not give up, and he keeps on attacking the Spider-Man again and again. But after a lot of trouble now Spider-Man drops all those kid swings, as well as Mary Jane on the ship, and he finally fights with the Green Goblin, and now the Green Goblin arrives with him inside an old house, and then begins a fierce fight between the two of them. At this time the Green Goblin was very powerful, and he starts beating Spider-Man a lot, and then he tells him that after you die, he will hurt Mary Jane so much that your soul will tremble. Hearing this, Spider-Man beats him again with his full power, and after seeing this, now the condition of Green Goblin becomes very bad. So he takes off his mask and tells him that, stop Spider-Man, you are Peter Parker, I know, and the one you are killing is me, Uncle Norman. I have always helped you, treated you like my son. But you are attacking me, and in the meantime he activates that glider. At first Spider-Man tries to support him by coming in his words, but he has spider sense. Due to this, it is known that some danger is coming towards him from behind, and he makes a jump right at the same time, due to which the glider comes straight and enters the Green Goblin's stomach, and he is killed there. But before he dies, the Green Goblin tells him not to tell my son Harry about this, and at the same time Peter, after changing the Green Goblin's dress, brings him to Norman's body, and now brings him straight to Harry's house. But while doing this in the dark, Harry sees him, and seeing this thing awakens a hatred in Harry's mind about Spider-Man. The same is shown in the next day, the funeral of Norman, inside which we are shown Harry, Peter, Mary Jane and Aunt Mary. Then there, Harry tells Peter that there is no one left in my family, only you who are my special friend. By this the movie ends here but not the series. In the second part we will see further story of Spider-Man. So if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now and like this video as you enjoyed it. Also tell me your opinions in comments section. Till then, goodbye.